One is anything more, so independent state legislature theory is dead. Any other sort of related conclusions that should inform our understanding of democracy going forward, elections going forward, that presuppose further cases? And if not, then what tea leaves might it allow us to read, right? What magic 8-ball might it suggest for the future?
So you're right that the court made very clear that the independent state legislature theory is dead. There is no independent legislature when it comes to federal elections. But the court also said that federal courts have a role to play in ensuring that state courts don't evade the federal constitution. And the court was very clear that federal courts, that the Supreme Court, can only intervene if a state court isn't judging normally. It emphasized that if the state court was undertaking its ordinary review of state legislative decisions, that there was no role for federal courts to play. But it did suggest that if a state court action is extraordinary, that the Supreme Court might step in to protect what is in the federal constitution. So while state checks and balances remain in place, and that is absolute, the court articulated this role for itself to exercise some degree of oversight with respect to what state courts do. We don't know exactly what that means or how it is going to be exercised. We don't know if it will ever be, if the US Supreme Court will ever exercise that power. But we do know that we are now in a position to superintend that situation closely to make sure that the court holds to that extraordinary trigger before it gets involved, to make sure that only in cases of extraordinary departure from normal judging in state courts would the Supreme Court get involved. So that's really the second part of the majority opinion addresses that issue.